This is Ivy Unleashed,
a Gold Ivy production.
Welcome back to Ivy Unleashed. You are here with Brooke and Andrea, and you are in for a treat. We're talking today about something that everyone wants more of. As health coaches, it is one of the biggest things we hear day in and day out. So let me start by asking you this question. What if you could dedicate your full attention to what is right in front of you? Today, we're going to help you improve your capacity to perform what you actually want to get done, giving you higher focus and more energy.
Yes, what we're talking about today has proven success in helping households, relationships, businesses, and our favorite, confidence. It keeps you aligned with what's realistic for you to commit to so that you can live your life in an efficient and vibrant way. This is something that we talk about between ourselves as business partners. I use for running my household, for my personal goals, for my coaching goals. We want to talk about where your focus and energy is going when it comes to your time.
Yes. How are you spending your time, and are you making it work for you? That's what we're going to get into. We are so obsessed with this topic because we've seen how much it's changed our lives for the better. It's allowed us to be high performers while working to, quote unquote, juggle it all and find the balance that we are all desperately striving for.
I think a lot too about how this affects your relationships. You know, if you know what you're responsible for, you know what's important for you to focus on, where you're putting your time and energy. You know, if you and I aren't aligned on what we're doing and when we're doing it, we don't deliver what we need to deliver in time or in a proper manner or to the highest capacity. Like, it's super important to know what you want to be doing with your time.
And that starts with clarity, right? It's that idea of an audit of how am I spending my time right now, getting clear with what that looks like for you right now and what you want it to look like.
And something that's interesting to think about that I learned from reading a book by David Allen, Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. Shout out to Brooke's Uncle Brant for sending it to us, was this key component of thinking about what you want to get done. Like, it's like we think that we have these auto yeses, like we say yes to these things automatically, or we think it's part of what we have to be doing. But when you actually sit down, and the part of this audit is this something I want to be doing? Am I passionate about it? Does it bring value to my life? Do I like this being my responsibility? Could I delegate it to someone else? I think really being a critical thinker of, is this what I want my life to look like? And the more you sit down with it, and we're going to encourage you to do this on a weekly basis, is to really evaluate, you know, am I happy with where my time's going? And maybe there's some things you don't want to do that are part of that, like some housework things or whatever, but kind of thinking more about it and then communicating with maybe who you live with or your partner or friendships on what you want your life to look like and how it might change things up the more you get aligned with what you actually want.
We've touched on so many different parts of life within the last couple minutes, and it is true. This helps with all of it. Andrew and I specifically, working still a full-time corporate job on top of the work we do with Gold Ivy, we juggle a lot. Andrew is a mom of 3. Again, juggling a lot. And this helps us stay organized and feel like we're in charge of our schedules. Feels like we run our day and our day does not run us. And in return, that helps to eliminate overwhelm. And there's no worse feeling than feeling overwhelmed, feeling like you're out of control, like your schedule is not something that you yourself put in place.
And nothing feels better than just being able to focus on what's right in front of you, knowing you put that there, you want it there, and then you can give it your full attention. Like, this is such a good, freeing feeling.
Tony Robbins says diluted focus equals diluted results. And you think about, in our culture today, we are more distracted than ever. We have phones going off. We have so many things that are just fighting for our attention that you have to be intentional about where you're putting your focus. And where your focus goes, Tony Robbins also says this, where your focus goes, energy flows. So if you want more energy, you need to have better focus. And multitasking is not the answer.
Yes, actually, I read a little scientific fact that trying to focus on more than one thing at a time reduces your productivity by as much as 40%.
It does. Think about when you're trying to multitask, your brain is in a million different places. And we know that what stress is when our body's in one spot and our mind is in a million other places. So the goal is to have you be fully present in what you are doing. And by doing what we are going to introduce, this allows you to do that. And we are talking about Focus with Gold Ivy Health Co., our time block template. This template is going to show you how to organize your week and your day so that you can be fully present in each thing you have to do within your calendar. Before we get into the template, we want to quick share some resources that we found, that we follow, behind why this method works and really how this can benefit you.
So going back to David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity, he breaks down, oh my gosh, this book is incredible. It actually reminded me of Britt Williams' episode 19, where we talked about prioritizing your systems, where it's really about, like you said before, getting clarity on what it is that you even have to do. And so he has a ton of information on how to organize yourself. So David Allen talks about it all being the system. Like clearly you need a system, right? And he says that there's 3 requirements of your system. 1 is anything you consider undone or unaccomplished needs to be in a trusted source or collection tool. Like it's got to go somewhere. Like you've got to collect it, write it down, type it in, whatever, it's got to be somewhere. 2, you need to clarify exactly what your commitment is and what you have to do to make progress towards fulfilling it. So, getting really clear on, we want to have a date night, but what does that require of me? I need to figure out who my babysitter is, how much we're going to, pay them, where we're going to go, those types of things. And then 3, once the actions are decided, keep reminders of them organized in a system that you review regularly. So you're helping yourself out over and over that you know what you need to get done, it's defined, and then you know what your next steps are for it. And then you have that system for making sure it actually happens. I know you talk a lot about how you can create this system, but like following through is tough. Mm-hmm. We all do it, right? We like come up with an idea for meal plans, but like, do we actually do it? Like it's something I struggle with big time. And so he's saying like, have those reminders in place that go off that say, let's review this. Did we actually do it? We did. Do we like how it went? Do we feel like this is something we want to do again? Do we want to do it a different way? So getting some clarity on that.
Yeah, and that also reminds me of another system that we use, and it's from Brooke Castillo, and it's her brain dump. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's having a system that's broken into different parts. The first part being the brain dump, where you collect everything that's going on in your head of things you need to do. You get it out of your head. Your brain is not a notepad. We've said that before. Get it out, put it on a piece of paper. From there, you then schedule those to-dos into your calendar and you throw away the paper. So now it's in your calendar. So what that does is it gives you the clarity, like Andrew just said, and it also shows you that you are in control of scheduling this into your calendar. So it eliminates that stress, that lack of control, because what stress really is we feel like there are things that are out of our control. So when you actually sit down and take the time of 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get organized, to then allow your day, your week to flow, because you've strategically placed in your week what you need to get done.
And I think this is something and where I see that this builds confidence and helps you create boundaries with your energy is that if you're saying yes to something, then that's energy to put it in the calendar somewhere. Because sometimes we just say yes to things, but we don't know how or when we're ever going to get it done. And so it kind of gets you aligned with like, okay, I'm actually going to put that in my calendar somewhere and I actually don't even know if I have a spot for it. Let me look at it. Let me see where it could go. So you get aligned on like, what am I actually saying yes to here? And then if you don't get it done, you have to move it.
Yeah.
And so it's like following through with, okay, I said I was going to do it, but I didn't do it. So, clearly I need to work on my time management of, that took longer than I thought. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move it to somewhere else that it makes more sense. And getting in that practice, you get realistic with what you can actually commit to. And then you prioritize what you really like and want to be putting your time with.
Yeah, and going off of confidence, right? Confidence comes from keeping the promises that we make to ourselves. So if you're constantly putting something in and then you're rescheduling, first of all, you're going to get annoyed as hell with yourself of like, just do the damn thing. But you also see, why is it so hard for me to keep this promise? So that helps also with the confidence piece.
Yeah, and just as coaches, like Brooke and I see this all day. Like today I had such a tough time coaching people because I talk to so many people that don't even know what they like to do. And I think this is such an awareness tool of, what do I want to be doing with my time? And wow, it's pretty limited. I knew that before, but now I see it clearly. I have the clarity on, I'm really filling up this calendar with a bunch of shit I don't even like to do, And I think this is just another way of getting to know yourself, of getting to get your life aligned in a way that sets you on fire, or, you have limited time. So when you do have this slot for the friend that you schedule it out for, you can really enjoy your time together, knowing it's limited.
Yeah. And what I love about it is you schedule it into your calendar. And so this allows you to be present in what you're doing, because you know that all the things you have to do, there's already time dedicated to doing it. I know that right now, my hour, 1 p.m., I'm recording a podcast. I know that at 3 o'clock, I'm washing my clothes, whatever it is, right? You put your chores in there, literally anything you have to do. And I'm not stressing about all of my chores while I'm recording this podcast, because I know it has a time dedicated for it. If you're someone that struggles with anxiety or overwhelm, this is going to help you so much. I know it's been a game changer for me.
Yeah, and I think overwhelm is important to focus on right now, because what happens when you get back from a trip, or you've been sick and then you come back into the office and your inbox is flooded, right? You feel stuck, like you feel overwhelmed. I know we've had some episodes about bouncing back that people have found really valuable. But when you think about like what's constantly bugging you in your mind, what's distracting you about these, like you said, open loops that you didn't close, it consumes a lot of your conscious attention, are things you haven't gotten out of your mind. So what David Allen suggests that you do is you write in a single sentence your intended successful outcome. Like, what is it you actually want done in a full sentence? So prepping for a podcast, you're going to do research for 30 minutes, you're going to journal for 30 minutes, and you're going to get ready for 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, prepping is actually an hour and a half, probably more than I thought. When am I going to fit that in? So getting that kind of out of your head and like writing out exactly what that's going to look like.
It's almost like you're setting yourself up for success of, okay, I'm going to record a podcast, but then you're not thinking about what actually goes into that. So you're scheduling time out for those steps that it takes to get you that end result.
And the key is the very next physical action required. So you do this in chronological order, like what is the most important and the very next action. So your list of to-dos can kind of become a lot smaller, thinking of what is my actual next step.
I love it. And I think what's powerful and what also reminds me of Britt's episode on systems is the delegating or deleting it. So when you get clear on how you're spending your time, if you know that you're overwhelmed, you can look at your to-dos and say, oh, okay, I could order my groceries online. I could ask my husband to help me. I could just get rid of it. This doesn't bring me joy and I don't need it.
Or delay. So delay it till later. It's really not that important right now. I don't have to do this right now.
Yeah.
So what David Allen says, after you've captured everything, after you've clarified what your next steps are, you organize the results. So you create your systems where it's easy to see what's going on. You have your reminders set up. You have your calendar filled up. Like you feel very organized, like you know what the next steps are and you can see them. And then you have reminders in place, that type of thing. So you can use our template for this. And then you reflect. So reflect that this is a key component, because you need to make sure you're in alignment. You need to know what went well, what didn't well. Did I stick to what I said? So you're reflecting on what that is. And then lastly is you're engaging with your system with increased energy and efficiency, because you have it all clearly laid out. You have your system rolling. And now that you feel good about it, you can really get shit done. You can feel good about what you're doing. You can have more energy because you know all the stuff that's not that important is kind of delayed, deleted, or delegated.
Yeah, and everything is taken into account. So there's that sense of control. And you can focus on the next thing in front of you, which in return is going to give you energy because you're not multitasking. So think about this template as giving you focus, giving you clarity, and giving you energy. And who doesn't want more of all three of those?
I do think it's important to acknowledge what can kind of get in the way as you're using this template, right?
Because we're human.
Because we're human beings and we're going to mess things up. And Our phones are just a huge barrier to this. And so there's so many tactics that you can do, turning off notifications, actually physically removing your phone from you. But that is a huge piece of why things don't get done and why you don't stay on task with this time blocking tool. So think about like how you could make that shift for yourself. Do you want to remove your phone during certain hours of the day? Do you want to just keep it out of your sight? Maybe still in the room so you can grab it or hear it if you need to. You could do limitations on social media if that's something that you feel like could be beneficial for you. But, like you said, we're human. Emergencies come up. You're going to get sick. You're going to go on a trip. You're going to have anxious seasons of your life where it's just harder to stay on task. And so knowing yourself and knowing that this does not need to, there's no right way to do this, and it's not going to be perfect.
And you're going to tweak it to work for you. That is the key, is you're not going to do this and be perfect and have your system down. Like, this is for you to build upon to make it work for you. So we're giving you the template, and then you're going to tweak it so that it works best for you. All right, I know you're dying to know, what is this damn template? And so we're going to get into what focus with Gold Ivy really looks like. It is 2 different templates in one, which is important because during your weekend, start of your week, you want to lay out your week. And so there's one template that is dedicated to your week. It's an hour by hour template, Monday through Sunday, that you can fill in after you do your brain dump. So you'll see each hour of the day how you're spending it. I will say something important, that leaving room for white space is important. Not having every hour dedicated to doing something. Giving yourself some room to breathe. And like we just said, know that you're going to tweak it and make it work for you. So just start to play and experiment with it. So that's the first template. The second template is a daily time block, which has changed my life. Both have, but I love this one. And in it is your top priorities for the day, the brain dump, and then your daily schedule. So what top 3 things do I need to get done today? That's where your focus is going. That's what you're doing first. And then you're going to have your brain dump of all of the things you have to do. And then you're going to put it into your daily schedule. So in the morning, this can be what you do. You wake up, before you do any work, you lay out your top priorities, you do your brain dump. So you're starting with a clean slate and then your daily schedule. So you know exactly what you're doing. You can copy and paste that over from the weekly schedule. Something I love about it too is, like we keep saying, you're going to make this work for you. So I've also adapted from the brain dump to then a to-do list of when I have time, because as coaches, we have breaks in our schedule. So in between calls, what's my priority list? If it's more than the 3, what do I know I'm getting done? And then highlighting it and checking it off as we go. At the end of the day, you can then set up and drag over what you didn't get done. You can do it in the morning or you can do it in the night.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my coaching clients have troubles falling asleep when they have a lot on their plate. And so a lot of people I know really find value doing this before they go to sleep for the next day. So like Brooke was saying, you could wrap up your day, get the next day ready, or you could do it right before bed when you have more time, or like that works better for your schedule, knowing that you want to know what your next day priorities are, whether you figure them out right before you go to bed. So, like, for me, that helps me wake up earlier. When I know exactly what I'm trying to get done in the morning, where it's going in my calendar, it makes me get out of bed a lot faster, or, motivates me, inspires me to get out of bed. And so this is, again, you figure out when this works for you to create it. Do you want to just be refreshed in the morning and that's when you figure it out? Because sometimes you're really tired at the end of the night. So you figure out when you create that list, when you consolidate your to-do list into the next day and your priority list too.
So to reiterate, 2 templates. You've got your weekly template that is broken out Monday through Sunday, hour by hour. You're going to plug in what you need to do for the whole week. So before you even do that though, you want to do your brain dump. So some people like doing it Saturday and having Sunday completely off. Other people like doing it Sunday evening. That's what I like doing is, okay, this week, what are my priorities? What do I need to do? And then once I've done that brain dump on a piece of paper or on my phone, scheduling it into the weekly time block template. Then each day you have your to-do list of what you're doing that day. And that looks like the top priorities for the day, the brain dump. So as your day is going on and you think of more things, add it to the brain dump. And then it's your daily schedule. And this one is 30-minute increments broken out. So it's just 2 templates that you can look at and fill it in and make it work for you.
Yeah, and it will take less time as it goes on because you're going to fill this in with like the hours that you're working or like standard hours of like pick up your kids, or you always grocery shop at this certain time. You plug it in once, you'll never have to do it again.
Yeah. Or for us, we have a lot of reoccurring tasks that I do every day. And then once I'm done, I highlight it and I strike it through. And then the next day or the next week on that same day, I just unhighlight it and I uncheck it off. And so it's right there. So again, these little tricks that you can do to make it faster, but so that you feel like during your day, you are progressing. So you feel like you're making progress, because that's what we all want, is to know that we are in control and we are moving forward and making progress.
Yeah. And make sure you put a half-hour time block in for time blocking so that you keep doing this. You keep showing up to stay aligned with what you know you want to be doing, and taking out things that you don't want to be doing anymore, communicating with somebody else to take it on for you.
Adding in rest, putting in those time blocks for things that you want to be doing, like time with friends, being really strategic on, are there things in that calendar that are refilling up your cup?
Brooke and I care so much about helping you live a life that you love. And time blocking will help you both personally and professionally. When you engage with the world in a more organized manner, whether it's with your friendships or with work or with family, you earn this like unique trust. It's different. Like, we keep bringing up Britt Williams, but when I ask her if like she has time to hang out on a certain day, she knows if she has the time or not. I can trust her because she's so organized. Like, I want to be that. Like, I want to have people trust that if I say I'll make some time for them, I truly have it, and I truly will. And so when you're forgetting about commitments or you're auto saying yes, like, people will catch on to that and won't trust you as much. And then also professionally, like, you'll have that type of reputation, whether or not you're going to deliver a product on time, or if you're going to really do what you said you're going to do. It really negatively impacts everyone, not just those people, you too. Like, it really crushes your self-esteem when you know you're saying yes to things you're not actually going to do. It's not a good feeling.
Yeah. And part of building self-confidence, we've said it, we'll say it again, is doing what you know you want to be doing and having the energy to do it wholeheartedly. Doesn't feel good to half-ass things, and to have the energy to do the things we want to do and to have that control of our schedule is so important. So get aligned with what you want to be doing, organize your priorities in an ongoing manner, because it will free up mental space and energy to live your life on fire. It is our mission to share our light and what is working for us to help you. And that's why we've created these templates. So you can find them on the shop page of our website, goldivyhealthco.com/shop. And we'll, of course, plug it in the show notes and on our socials. And you can get both templates, the weekly, the daily, and bonus, we have some more tips for you on there that are all about small things you can do to save time.
Yes, we brainstormed on all the things that we do, the things that we've heard, the things that have a bunch of science and research behind them on how you can kind of declutter your mind and save time.
Yeah, different productivity hacks. So go check it out. Let us know what you think. If there's a time management hack that you love, please comment on this episode. Leave a review. Let us know. The more the merrier. We are here to help each other. No gatekeeping here.
All right, now it's time for our 3 gold stars.
Number 1, go get our time blocking template, goldivyhealthco.com/shop.
2, fill out the weekly template on the weekend for the week ahead.
And 3, fill out the daily template either each morning or the night before.
And your piece of gold this week is from author David Allen. He says, when the only thing on your mind is the only thing on your mind, you'll be present in your zone with no distinction between work and play. This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold.